So here we go. Just got word that the Fed had dropped rates all the way to zero in a surprise Sunday night move. And then they have a bond purchasing program and a mortgage purchasing program that they've just said that they're going to implement. And if you look at I haven't got a chance to look at their balance sheet. I'm sure it's skyrocketing. And then plus whatever they're doing here, and then the repo markets. It's exactly what I've been saying for the last few years. This is what we've been looking for. Not looking forward to it. I was hoping that we could push this off for another couple of years, but it's happening. So the helicopter money policy is in full effect, and this is what we've been talking about. A lot of us in this community. You'll have what they call at this point you'll have kind of a deflationary spiral, which I guess you call it deflationary. It's certain elements or certain commodities and certain things prices are going to be pushed down, and then others they're going to spike up, and then eventually after this money starts cycling through, you'll see a final push up and then a crash. So that's like what we've been saying this whole time. Hopefully we got some time in between those cycles. Hopefully this takes a little bit of time. It will initially. I mean, this stuff doesn't just, usually at least monetary policy. There is a quarter or two of lag time, but there's also market anticipation. So hopefully we get longer than that. I'm praying that what I've been predicting and what many others, we have some time to prepare, more than hopefully we already have. I know I was trying to get some gold, and it looks like there's been a kind of a run on some of that. It's taken them a lot longer to ship it, and then they're also putting minimum orders, and some of these things are just complete. So they've been in for the last week or so. I mean, that's a short-term thing as opposed to the longer term. And now, it's like I look at those they're not investments, they're currencies. It's money. So when you trade your dollars for that, I'm not looking at the dollar value per se. I'm just saying I want to hold my value in a money instead of a currency that's now being printed. So the printing presses are going to be on overtime. It's kind of so I was actually feeling a little bit better about this whole situation with the virus after Trump and a number of the governors came out and talked it. A little more reassuring, even though we're just in it and we just have to ride through. But then this came out tonight, and it's actually got me a little bit worried. I'm just like, man, timetables pushed up, and we talked about it forever. And I'll be honest, I'm not completely prepared. I don't know if you ever will be, but there's a lot of things I need to do to prepare. And this virus too is also another way to look at. It's like a prelude or a dry run. We call it. It's a dry run to see, pretty much you can see what would happen when there is a real event, or when that collapse happens, when that currency collapse happens here in the next few years. And things aren't going to be pretty, I'll tell you that. So the Fed's doing the exact opposite of what it should be doing. I'm supposed to be there to stabilize prices, and when you have a lack of productivity now, less products or less goods and services in the economy, the money supply should reflect that, according to the original mandate of the Federal Reserve, or why it was created, even though I totally disagree with that, and I wish we had sound money instead. But that's what they were supposed to do, so they should be retracting, and they should be encouraging savings, because right now the current price of money is pretty much saying that there's an abundance of savings, which we all know that isn't. In fact, my money's not doing shit in there now, because I was getting 2%. I guarantee that's going to be cut. So now I'm thinking, what am I going to do with this excess cash? I'll probably go ahead and keep some of it for on-hand stuff, and then I'll try to get as much gold and silver as I possibly can, just to hold value. Silver looks really attractive, which I've been buying silver for a long time, just little bits. I'm not a rich person or anything, so I buy little bits here and there, and hopefully you're starting to see a detachment though from the physical markets and the actual metals. With the shortages of silver I've seen in the dealers, as opposed to the spot price in the market, there's something really crazy about that, and it's not really even the price of gold is not really reflective of the actual demand that I can see in the physical side. So there's something fishy. It's one of those things you could kind of tell it's manipulated. It's a piece of evidence you put in there in your mind that this price is more than likely it's not reflective of actual supply and demand dynamics. But it is what it is, and whoever's pushing it down, we had our chance to take advantage of that, and I think we might still have that chance. So we'll see what happens. I hope that they're able to push this bubble up a little bit, because I got some money in the market now, and I'd like to make a little bit and get it out and try to get some real assets with it. But we'll see what happens. This is interesting times. It's kind of scary to think that we're pretty much following the same playbook as every other empire, and even in more recent times, other governments in the last 100 and something years. It's like we don't learn our lesson here. We never do. It doesn't seem like, or it like the definition of sanity: do the same thing with the same problem and expect different results. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The human race and the people that I see around me has never ceased to amaze me. When I was younger, I used to have faith in government. You assume that they're smarter than you are, and that they're making an informed decision. You have the best and the brightest up there, and then you realize as you get older that that's not, or maybe it was true at one time, and but that's not necessarily true. That you don't necessarily have the brightest bulbs or the brightest men in the country running things. What you do learn is that it's not out of normal to have normal people that are actually have a better grasp on the reality than the people that are making the policy, and that could be for a number of reasons. But you're not crazy. You people out there are not crazy. Well, that's what I'm doing. And then I'm also, I had an AR for a while, and I'm going to get one. I haven't, still a couple firearms, and instead of toilet paper, I'm going to try to stock up on my ammunition and maybe some food. But I'd rather transfer my wealth or my productive representation through currency or whatnot into tangible assets. And I was trying to purchase some land. I haven't got to that point yet, and I was hoping. That's why I was hoping this would be pushed off for a number of years. And but this also might give you an opportunity to get into something like that. Some desperate people might be seeking cash, and you can get a piece of land. But you need something like that. Is that asset you can. If you can figure out a way to cash flow it, or at least it will hold its value for you. There will always be worth something. But if you can get something to cash flow, some kind of asset. Cash. You might as well wipe your ass with that thing here soon. So that's going to be the new toilet paper. It's a little joke. I don't know. But anyway, reiterate the Fed dropping rates to zero. And on a Sunday night, they have their meeting this week. That's what I don't get. It's like, now you're just showing panic. It's like, if you're going to do something like that, you'd think, even the first cut, you'd think you'd wait till the meeting because it's so close. Just freaking, there's still a little bit of confidence in the system. But, I don't know. These guys never cease to amaze me. You can understand the macro side, and like we know what we've seen this game played out throughout history, and us in this community, we kind of know, especially in the Austrian side, and just people that are just generally basic and economic grasp of how things work. You kind of know how this is going to play out. Sometimes you can't get the timeline down, and you hope. So you wonder if it's ever going to happen. Then when it does happen, you wish it just would be pushed off a little further. But it's we're getting to the closer to that final crash where you better be prepared. So this is the prelude. So do what you can, and hopefully things get a little bit normal and enough time for everybody to get some things squared away in their life. So when the actual tragedy happens, or an actual biological weapon that's more devastating than this comes through, we are actually prepared. But anyway, peace out. I'll be update some more, and hopefully talk about something else besides markets, because this is super depressing. Talk about life and what else is going on societally. But anyway, peace out.